Hi chaps, Simo P here from Beard, Biceps and Batchat. Today I'm bringing you some gameplay in my Centurion 7-1 on Pacific Island on Typhoon. I was going to show a replay in my new Batchat, but I looked through my channel and there's been quite a lot of French replays, so I thought I'd mix it up and go back to my Centurion. So I picked up the 7-1. I think in Where's My Garage you would have seen me buy it. This is probably the first time I've done a lot of play in the tank. Apart from this very derpy moment, this is probably why I haven't, where I almost drowned myself in the off. The tank itself was, once you get to the top gun, is very good with the top engine. I never quite realised how good the British Hesh was. I've literally gone games where I've fired Hesh the entire game and still walked away with 3, 4, 5k damage. That's just how ridiculous it is. So with Typhoon, obviously view range is the biggest thing. You pretty much can't see that far ahead of you. This tank's Centurion 7-1 has 410 meters view range normally, so it's given me a little bit of edge over other tanks. So what I'm going to do is get into a nice hold down position and just wait for them to come to me. That way I'm not spotted first and I can take my time and just use my gun to wreak, well, hopefully wreak havoc on the other guy. So I've noticed this cheeky little M103. Now you'll see me pulling back here and not taking a shot where I probably could have snapped one off. The reason for that is I don't know what else is behind him. I also don't want to be the first tank spotted. Obviously there's Arty. I'm not in a particularly Arty safe position, so I want to pull back. I already know he's going to the right hand side of that hill, so all I need to do is wait for him to reappear and just to use my view range when I'm in a nice comfortable position and not to shoot when I'm out of position. Now he's got a little friend, he's got his cheeky KV4 buddy with him, so there's my first Hesh round into him. Again, I'm going to put my second Hesh round into his, well, hopefully his tracks that eater shot there. What I'm looking to do is actually just to pin him in place for the heavy 4 next to me, just to start slamming into him. Now my gun can go through him. The penetration on the APCR rounds on the Centurion 7-1 is 268 millimeters. That is absolutely insane for a medium. It's got more penetration than the gun on the, there's the first one dead, no idea why I was pushing so hard there, but it's got more penetration than the gun on the Conqueror, so it is a very good gun at penetrating. So we're just going to go straight through the M103 regardless of how he angles his armour. You'll notice what I'm doing here though is I'm able to keep them spotted again just because that extra 10 meters of view range this tank has, where they're not able to spot me. So me and the heavy 4 are able to put shots into them without being spotted in return. So it's allowing us to farm damage a little bit, which is actually very nice in this map. It's just giving us that little bit of edge until I'm spotted. I decide to pull back, and I notice this little cheeky chap, this IS-3 has pushed all the way up the middle without anyone spotting him, and is going to cause us a bit of a headache. But the hull armour on this tank isn't superb. In fact, it's absolutely terrible. As you can see, IS-3 goes straight through me. I put a shot through his pike, or try to. He angles it perfectly at the last minute, just so I can't go through the exposed sides of the pike nose. So I'm pulling back a little bit. I'm trying to get the heavy 4's attention to put a shot into him, because the reload on this tank is about 10 seconds. The IS-3 will shoot 2 shots for every 1 I shoot at him, and he's got a T-32 backing him up. Now I've got to be careful I don't expose too much of my back to the M103 and the Tiger 2 that are on the other side that we were shooting at previously. So I'm just going to wait for my reload, just wait patiently, hope the T-32 gets bored, decides to push somewhere else. There's a T-28 Proto that can get shots into us as well, but the main thing is just to remain patient. If I push out, I could end up in a very daft position, so I'll push back a little bit just to see if I can provide some support and fire to pin that M103 down. Get spotted again. I realise the IS-3's got a bit cheeky, so I push over. I'm fully reloaded. I let the heavy 4 take the shot first, and I'm just trying to see if there's anything else around this corner that can do damage to me. Oh nope, bounce again. At this point the IS-3 is not even aiming at me. He's given up on life. He must have found a softer target to put a shot into. So IS-3 dies, or should die in a second, so we don't need to worry about him. We've got the Tiger 2 who is beginning to start his push on us, but he's left himself out in the open a little bit. I'm not quite sure why he's bothered to do that. The M103's got the right idea. He stayed out of view range, he's hull down, he's just taking shots and he's being nice and patient, conserving that last little bit of HP that he's got left. So the T-32 we spotted earlier has got very, very cheeky. He's pushed all the way to base, throw a shot into his tracks, hopefully to let the other guys finish him off. Nope, they decide against throwing shots into him. He wisely pulls back before something very nasty takes him out. Now, this Tiger 2 is in a very problematic position for me. I'm quite low health. He's keeping us spotted for the M103. I can't spot the M103 from my position, so we have to take this Tiger 2 out to get out of this situation, which means I have to expose myself and eat a shot from the hidden M103. The way they've got themselves set up is really, really good. A nice protected Tiger 2 spot in the M103 in cover. If it had stayed in that like that, they could have quite easily sort of picked us apart and held our flank. I'm only a one shot. The heavy 4's not going to do a great deal without some support, just because he's quite slow. So what I'm going to do is just to sort of probe forward ever so slightly, just to see if I can pick up that M103. I don't want to push round in front of the Type 4 Heavy. I want to use him as my shield. I decide better of it and think, do you know what, we'll just throw shots into the two tanks that are spotted here, which is the Waffenträger and their Type 4 Heavy. So he's not really doing much, he's just sat there waiting to die. Type 4 Heavy is a bit more problematic. Now I'm still using APCR. He was fairly flat there, so I'm quite surprised I didn't just go through his side. I'm just literally waiting for an opportunity to shoot, hit him in the track if possible. There we go. And I want to get the assisted damage or the track damage, there we go, of other people tearing him up. I wait for my reload. I'm surprised he's not dead at this point, so I just put him out of his misery with the final shot. And then we look to push on. This must be the M103. I've got to be honest, the M103's had a great game. He got caught out in the open very early, but he got his head screwed on, got himself in a great position, kept himself alive with minimal HP against two tier 9 tanks. So he did very, very well. Overall, we managed to finish the game with, I'd imagine, just shy of 6, just over 6k combined damage. A first class maybe? Do we? Yep, first class mastery, that's not too bad at all. Hopefully you're enjoying the content, guys. Let me know what you want to see next, and please subscribe to the channel, chat.